DJ Shockley, how are you, man?
Hey, man, I am glad. I'm excited. It's great to be here. But, it's SEC Media Days, man, it's just a small time. Nothing big's going on here, right? I mean,
Only
no.
Alabama Day.
Only Alabama. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, the crowd, watching Saban come in was pretty cool. So it's definitely fun.
All right, so we obviously I enjoy listening to former players, and I think what we do with Marquise and I, we try to facilitate a conversation.
Marquise, what's up, man?
With the Alabama fans, and we like to talk, but we always love to pick the brains who have played the game, and try to get you guys to open up a little bit, kind of share your stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love to hear you on the NFL and talking about the Falcons, but you've also got an expanded role, and I'm going to talk about that for a couple of minutes.
Right.
Give me some details, man. Some added responsibility for the upcoming fall.
So I'm excited, man. I got to just officially announce today and got the opportunity to not only do studio stuff on Thursday nights with my man, Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, in the studios on Thursday nights, but also get to, call games on Saturdays with Don Davenport and my man Dave Neal. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity to be able to call games and go to some of these different stadiums I haven't been to a while, like Bryant Denny. I've been there in a while, so it'd be exciting to be able to get to a place like that and call a game.
I think you probably last time you were over there, you probably picked up a W, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It wasn't much our offense did, but, our kicker had like 6-7 field goals against Alabama, so yeah.
All right, so increased responsibility, but now that's not going to interfere with the Atlanta Falcons, right? You're still going to be part of that?
No, absolutely. Still be able to do a bunch of the Falcon stuff weekly throughout the week, and then on the weekend it's all college football.
Well, we're proud to have an affiliation with Atlanta because obviously with Calvin and Mr. Julio Jones, which is we feature him as often as we possibly can.
Those are pretty good players, I think. Yeah. I think they've done well.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, those work ethic of those two guys.
Yeah.
All right, so a quarterback perspective, okay? I want you to tell me why Nick Saban is so successful. We're talking 5 out of the last 9 years.
Right.
Tell me why you think Nick Saban is so successful.
I think it's the consistency that he brings year in and year out. I looked up a stat where I think Alabama they've only lost 6 games since 2011. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's one of those things you look back and say, okay, yeah, he's had a bunch of great players, but this is from 2011 to 2009, which is 18. He's consistently bringing in players, and they definitely buy into the system, and they're doing it his way, and they're winning. And each year going into a season, you're the team that's going to be hunted because everybody knows they want to beat Big Bag Alabama. Even though if you can beat Alabama, you got a chance to play for a national championship. You got a chance to be really elite. So the fact that you go into a season and everybody knows, hey, this is the reigning national champ, or this is the reigning SEC champ, you have a bigger bullseye on your back each and every season. That makes it even tougher, and he continues to get his teams to play at a high level year in and year out.
All right, let's go back to the national championship game, and I know you're a Dog alum, and
I can't hear you right now. I don't know what's going on, man. It's getting all muffled.
Okay, but I don't want. Okay, I know it's difficult, but I want to hear it from a quarterback perspective.
For sure.
You understand that role.
Oh, yeah.
You see the decision that Nick Saban made at halftime. Can you walk us through maybe your analysis of that?
You know what? It's pretty amazing that a guy that's 26-2 now, you say can't get it done. He's not the guy for us in this particular moment. And to pull in a true freshman that you don't know how he's going to respond in the biggest game of the season, but you put him in because guess what? You know he's going to get the job done, or he's going to give your team a chance to win. I think as a quarterback, those are the moments that you look forward to. And I think Tua came in and he knew that he was ready for that moment. He knew that he wanted to be able to lead this team, and he was able to do it. He believed in himself. And you look at all the guys who made plays in that ball game, majority of them were freshmen. I mean, you talk about guys who, caught the touchdown pass, or Najee Harris, who comes in and has a huge role in running the football for him. Saban does a great job of, I think, preparing these guys for those moments, whether they're freshman or senior, it doesn't matter. Everybody, I think, lives up to the same expectations, and they go out and they play like it.
All right. Let me ask you, as a quarterback, where would you like to see Jalen improve and take that next step?
I think the biggest thing for Jalen is his anticipation. I think everybody thinks Jalen doesn't have the arm or can't throw it down the field. I completely think he can, but I think sometimes he doesn't trust it as much as he probably should. And he'll hold on to it for extra half a second, and then he'll take off and run, or he'll try to force into a spot. I want to see Jalen go into the season and anticipate throws a little bit better. I want to see him be able to push that ball down the field and force defenses to respect him throwing the football. I don't think you become 26-2 without being able to throw the football or throw it down the field, and people respect that part of your game. So if he becomes, I think, a little bit a more guy who more anticipates throws, is going to make him an even dangerous player. And then now defenses have to worry about not just him running, but his legs, with like Tua did when he came in, being able to throw the ball down the field and put more pressure on defenses.
All right, you look at Jalen, and I don't question his arm as well. I mean, I look at Ardarius Stewart, USC. When we first saw Jalen come into the game as a true freshman, he made this dart throw.
Yeah.
And I can remember, I mean, I can almost draw it out on paper the way that the diagram.
He's got it, man.
But I see hesitation.
Yeah.
Is that confidence? Is that because you got a guy like Tua behind him? What gets you in that zone where you're afraid to pull the trigger?
I don't think it's as much of you worry about the guys behind you as it is you don't want to make that mistake.
Okay.
You don't want to force the ball, or you don't see it exactly, or it doesn't look the way you think it should look, so you hold on to it, but then have a second and you hesitate. I think that's the biggest part of where Jalen is now is he has to trust not only his receivers, he has to trust what he sees. And sometimes I think he gets a little clouded in what he sees as opposed to does he trust this guy's going to come out his break, and then he throws it, and then, he doesn't come out his break, he throws the interception. Everybody says, Jalen shouldn't have thrown that. I think that's part of it as well, is he doesn't hesitate and has to trust those guys who he's throwing the ball to.
Competition, how stressful is that for a player? or is it just one of those things that you're tired of talking about, you're tired of hearing about it? Let's just get to fall camp, and let's see what we've got.
Competition is real. It's a lot. It's something that you think about, and I think some guys actually, they enjoy it. Some guys look for it, they relish it, and some guys, it brings out the worst in them simply because they know if they make any kind of mistake or they don't make the right move or they miss a tackle or whatever it may be, then they're not in position to be where they want to be, which is the starter or compete for a spot. So it's one of those things where either you love it or you hate it. And most guys who are really good in this league, they love competition and they're looking for it. And I think both guys, Jalen, I think both guys love competition. They've done it. They've been a part of it. And it's only going to make them better. And those type of guys you want on your team.
Final question. I'm a huge fan of Mark Richt, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I love the stance he takes. How did he make you a better person?
Well, you know what? Coach Richt is the guy, whether you see him doing an interview or you see him on TV, that is the guy. He is exactly who, everybody expects him to be, and you know exactly where you stand with him. And not only he wants you to be really good with wins and losses, he cares about you as a person. And when a guy cares about you truly as a person, you're willing to give more for him, and you're going to listen to him a little bit more. And that's what he did for each and every guy that came to the University of Georgia. He wanted you to leave with a degree. He wanted you to be a good football player, but also he wanted you to be a better husband, father, son, brother to your whole entire family, and that's what he cared about.
It sounds like even some characteristics that describe it of Nick Saban. I mean, I was sitting there listening, and it's a lot of the similar characteristics. I know you got to go to your next interview.
And I think that's where he gets the most out of his guys because they know that about him and they relish that opportunity.
DJ, I love to hear your analysis. We love the affiliation that we have here with ESPN.
Awesome.
SEC Network, obviously, we feature a lot of you guys, but also the Atlanta Falcons as being a home of Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones in Tuscaloosa.
That's going to be dangerous right there.
Hey, best of luck. Try to take a deep breath in all your busy responsibilities. I appreciate you today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.